What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Long Wear Foundation. Now, you guys already know, every single time I do a foundation review, I always find it skeptical when a hydrating or luminous or radiant foundation is long wearing. So I like to put that to the test and see if it really is long wearing. So normally that means that it's about an 8-hour wear. So I'm going to put that to the test today. If you guys are new here, I keep it on all the time for 8 hours. Keep it on. Keep the foundation on for 8 hours is what I mean, not it on. Just to really put it to the test. I know some people will put it on, keep it on for 2 hours and be like, oh, it's great, but it's like, no, because a normal person wears a foundation for 8 hours, sometimes even longer, especially if you're working. So I really do like to put that to the test. And another thing off topic, it was brought to my attention that in my previous videos, I'm overcritical of products, but I just want to say, you guys, I'm broke as fuck. So of course I'm gonna like really be overcritical of a product because spending money is not so easy, especially if it's hard to come in and quick to go, as you guys know. So I put my products to the test, and yes, I am very, very critical of products because I think if you're spending $35 on a foundation, I think that it should be noted if, you know, sitting in fine lines or creasing or the smell, the texture, all these things should be noted in a review. That's just my personal opinion about it. If you guys don't like overcriticalness, if that's even a word, then I am not the channel for you. So I just want to say that right off the bat. I am very critical of my products that I review because money is hard to come by, as you guys know. So I like doing my reviews because I love watching reviews and I like looking at products to see if it's worth buying or not. So I feel like me as a YouTuber, a beauty guru, if you will, I want to be as thorough as possible. So I know that comes across as me complaining a lot, but that's just the way it is. So I just really I'm not going to change the way that I am because I'm not going to sit here and kiss each ass's brand to get on the PR list or get sent free products or anything like that. So I'm just going to give it to you guys straight as usual. So with that said, this long ass intro, if you guys are interested in checking out the Rihanna Pro Filter Hydrating Long Wear Foundation on my potato headed ass, then go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, you guys, I feel like today I look extremely red, especially whenever I go against the yellow background. I feel like red stand out so much on yellow, so I look really red. And it's because I'm hot as fuck in my room, which, by the way, I have my fan on. I tell you guys in like every video. I apologize if you can hear it. I think I do a pretty good job at editing it out, but you might be able to hear a little humming or something like that, which I do apologize, but I can't be putting on foundation while sweating, so I'm so sorry if you guys have to go through that. I know it annoys a lot of people, but hear that little fan, deal with it, that way I can do this review, okay? So to start this off, this is $35. I did purchase it at Sephora, which I will say I don't like buying products from Sephora. I'm sure you guys already know this. I tried my hardest to purchase all my products at Ulta because their point system is so much better than Sephora. I feel like those crappy little products that Sephora gives you are just like, girl, what am I gonna do with that? They give you a sample of a primer this big and it doesn't even cover half of my fat ass face. So I'm like, Ulta, they let you buy whatever you want, and actually with one of my gift credits or whatever it's called, I had like $120, so I bought my YSL cologne, which I was so excited I didn't have to pay full price for it because that shit is expensive. But that's besides the point. Rihanna is not sold at Ulta. It's only sold at Sephora or FentyBeauty.com. So this is $35 and it is available in 50 shades. Let me read the little product details to you guys that are actually on the FentyBeauty.com website. It says, a first of its kind hydrating longwear foundation that delivers it all with comfortable medium to full coverage, serious staying powder, and a natural finish. Perfect for normal to dry skin, all in a groundbreaking range of 50 shades. Now, this does say that it is good for all skin types on the Sephora website as well. Hydrating medium to full coverage for all skin tones as well. Now, I feel like a lot of brands like to just claim that their foundations are good for every single skin type, which is clearly not the case. This is why if you are a multi-millionaire and you can afford to come out with a foundation that's good for dry skin, normal skin, oily skin, then really come out with separate foundations, because in my personal experience being in this industry for 12 years, I find it really hard for a foundation to be good for all skin types. Of course, there are foundations out there that are really truly good for all skin types, but I feel like a lot of brands want to label it as good for all skin types so they can get the person who's oily, get the person who's normal, and get the person who's dry to all purchase that product, which hydrating is not necessarily a good name for someone who's really oily. Now, do keep in mind, people with oily skin do need to hydrate, of course. That is essential because a lot of times oily skin is produced by people who are actually really dry, so their skin is fighting overtime, creating more oils to produce hydration for their skin. Now, I'm gonna put this to the test. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm a sweaty, oily bitch, and I like to wear this for a long time to see how it wears. So it even says on the side of the packaging, it says hydrating, medium to full coverage for all skin tones, long wear, light as air. Light as air, so I want to see if it is light. So it does say on the Sephora website that one of the ingredients in it is grapeseed oil, which is really good for the skin. So I'm curious to see. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, which, by the way, you guys, I haven't watched any reviews on this. I just bought this yesterday. It came out yesterday, and I haven't seen any reviews, so I'm really curious. This is a complete full first impressions as well as review. And I want to mention that I do have the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Foundation. As you guys know, I did a review on this. I actually really did not like this foundation. It sat in my fine lines. It was so dry for me, which is weird for me to say because I like a more matte foundation. But this just wasn't for me, and I was in the shade 260, so I got the shade 260 in the new one. And I will say I do like the packaging of this. I like that it's a tube, so if you drop it, it's all good. As you guys know, me and glass bottles just don't get along. And I like that it does have a pump, because I hate just a squeeze tube, because my fat heavy hand just pushes out so much damn product that next thing you know, I'm looking like a drag queen and wasting $20 of product, and I don't want to do that. So I like that this does have a pump, even though it is in a plastic tube. Now, another thing I do want to mention before getting into this, I'm going to prime my skin with my Hangover Too Faced primer, which you guys know I use in every video. And when I did this Fenty Beauty review, me as a makeup artist, I was getting so pissed that people in the comments were saying, oh, you don't like it because you didn't use the Fenty Beauty primer. You guys, you never have to use the same brand's primer with a foundation. Of course, they recommend it because they build it hand in hand, but you never have to purchase the same exact primer. I may use this Too Faced primer, but guess what I never use on my channel is Too Faced foundation. So come on, you guys do not need to purchase that primer. Of course it is recommended because they are, you know, built together, but guess what? I'm not made of money, so I'm not going to be purchasing whole new primer every single time that I do a foundation review. So I am using my Too Faced Hangover primer as I normally do, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on right now because I'm going to get ready to put on this foundation. Alright, so I have my primer all on. I'm going to be taking my Rihanna sponge, which you guys know is my favorite damn sponge. I love this sponge. I don't know why. The texture is just so bomb. It is falling apart, but I think it's almost 2 years old. This foundation, yeah, I think it came out 2 years ago. So it took her a while to come out with this one, which I'm really, really glad that she did, because as you guys know, Rihanna is my fucking bitch. I love her so much. Her music, her aesthetic, everything about her. She's like one of my favorites for sure. So I'm hoping that I like this foundation. It really killed me that I hated this one, but I'm hoping that I like this one right here, even though of course I am a little bit skeptical of liking it because I'm a sweaty, oily bitch, and a hydrating foundation, I don't know about it. But we're just gonna go ahead and, oh, by the way, it says on the back of the bottle, massage well if needed, pump and squeeze tube simultaneously to release air. Okay, obviously we know that you gotta pump a few times to get it going. Let's see here. I'm curious of the consistency as well because it's hydrating, so I'm wondering if it's super liquidy like her original foundation. Okay, damn, I know it says you gotta, oh my god, you gotta pump a lot to, oh, finally, here we go. Oh, actually, you know what? This is a thicker consistency than the first, the Pro Matte. So I have about a pump and a half there, which I'm gonna spread throughout both sides of my face. It says a medium to full coverage. As you guys know, I do prefer a, oh, I thought it smelled really good at first, but then I was like, maybe it's just my sponge because I just washed it. As you guys know, I do prefer a more full coverage foundation because I am red and I have a lot of freckles. So this shade, by the way, I don't know if you guys watched my original review of the Pro Matte, which I'll link right up here. I did notice like it oxidizing throughout the day. It did get a little bit darker, so this is gonna look a little lighter, and well, if it's like the original one, it will get a little bit darker. Actually, you know what, maybe the foundation does smell good. I don't know, something smells good, which I think I like the original one, the scent as well. Okay, this is well, yeah, medium coverage. I'm gonna build it up to full coverage, which I'm hoping it will build up. And this, by the way, is meant, it says on the website, I didn't read this long old thing about it, but it says that it's not dewy, it's just meant to look like skin. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take one more pump here, that way you guys can see what a full pump looks like, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start layering that. I will say though, as far as a medium coverage, I do like that as it is, but as you guys know, I just like a full coverage. So since it says medium to full coverage, why not build it up? But from the first pump and a half on my face, I did like it so far. Actually, that may be too much. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking it up on my forehead as well. So I have it layered up right there. So I would say 2 pumps throughout both of my cheeks. So a pump each, let's just say. Why do I have to be so difficult? Duh. A pump each cheek. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in on my forehead. As you guys know, this is like really my kind of trouble area because of my fine lines and wrinkles. So I think if a foundation looks good on my forehead, that's when it's like the winner for me. I will say though, I really do like the finish and the coverage on my cheeks right now. It looks really, really good. And it does look like skin. I will say it's not like over shiny. It's not like super luminous like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one that I just did a review on. That one is really, really radiant and shiny. This one so far just looks pretty, it looks good, like just like skin. It doesn't look like too shiny, not matte. I don't know, I like it so far. So I'm hoping on my forehead it looks good. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and set it with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. As you guys know, this is my favorite damn powder ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my whole face with it rather than using my good old MAC Studio Fix. I forgot to mention as well, it is not sitting in my fine lines. So I'm kind of surprised so far. I'm actually really liking it so far because I like the finish, and really in my fine lines it's looking pretty damn good so far. Let me not speak too soon though. So I have the foundation all on and I do have it set. It is currently 4:36 right now, so I do plan on keeping this on for 8 hours, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see at the end of the day. I will say so far about the foundation, oh sorry, I was looking around for it. It is definitely medium coverage as it says. I will say even after layering it, it didn't get to like a super full coverage, but I think it's good enough for me. Honestly, like on a daily basis, this is how much I like to wear. Even though you guys know I do like my Huda Beauty foundation, which is super full coverage, that is a little bit more so for like if I'm going out or if I'm going to be doing pictures, things like that. But this for a daily wear, I really, really like. I think the coverage is super good, and it definitely doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. So I'm really, really happy with it so far. And you guys, my forehead, you guys know, let me go ahead and lean in a little bit closer here. Do you guys see my forehead? You see, this is what I love. Like, yes, I do have wrinkles. I'm sure you guys can see it a little bit, but it's not sitting in them. So far, I am really liking this foundation. I really hope that it wears this good throughout the day. It does say long wearing, so let's see how it sits in my fine lines. So anyways, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows and bronzer off of camera, and I'll do my check-in in a couple hours, and I'll let you know how it is then. All right, you guys, so it is currently 7:36 right now, so I've had this on for 3 hours, and it is sitting in my fine lines, but not really too bad. But on my cheek, it looks really, really good, so you guys can see in the natural light. Let me adjust with my phone. It's looking pretty good so far, except for on my forehead, but it's not like too bad, but it's not as good as the Huda. So it's currently 1:05 right now. So I had this on a little bit over 8 hours, and I will say it's definitely not going to be my favorite foundation. I am super, super oily on my nose, and actually it came off my nose and started separating on my nose. My forehead, it did start sitting in my fine lines, which sucks. Honestly, I know that's going to be my biggest problem, but that's why I stick with this damn Huda Beauty foundation. But I am on the search for a holy grail foundation. That way I don't have to support bitch ass Huda anymore, because I really don't want to, but you guys, that foundation really is the best for my fine lines, for coverage, everything. I haven't found a foundation that is that good. As you guys know, the Maybelline Fist Me foundation is actually one of my favorites as well too, but that still sits in my fine lines a little bit, unlike the Huda. So I am really on the hunt. So when I do these foundation reviews, keep that in mind. Like, it's one of my biggest concerns is to find something that's not going to sit into my fine lines, because I really am just hoping for that, which maybe I'm asking for a miracle. But yeah, this doesn't look too good on my forehead. It's not the worst. It's definitely not as bad as Anastasia or the Urban Wear. Those two were just terrible. But yeah, I'm just like super oily. It is sitting in fine lines. It's definitely not my favorite. But you know, I have kept this on for over 8 hours. But I did notice at the 3-hour mark, it was already sitting in my fine lines and wrinkles. So yeah, once again with this, I don't know, I'd give it like, you know, a 1 thumb up and a 1.5 thumbs down. Or wait, half a thumbs down. Basically, you know what? I should start doing my reviews out of like 5 stars. I would give this a 3.5, maybe a 3. In between a 3.5 and a 3, because it's not terrible, but it's not my favorite. But I will say, I do want you guys to keep this in mind. If you guys don't have fine lines, and if you guys are a little bit more on the dry side, I think this would be great for you. A lot of people were misunderstanding me in my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation review. What I was saying is this is bad for me, but if you guys have a different skin type than mine, then you may want to try it out, because I do definitely think that this Rihanna foundation may be actually really, really good for you if you do have a little bit more dry skin and don't have so many fine lines and wrinkles like I do on my forehead. I will say on my cheeks too, which you guys know, normally things wear really good on my cheek. It's super shiny. I don't know if you guys can see with the light there. It is pretty damn shiny, but I will say, you know what? I was wearing this all day and it didn't feel like I have anything on, but like I said, it's not my favorite foundation, so I give it a 3.5. A 3.2.5 stars out of 5, something like that. Anyways, you guys, if you guys have this foundation, let me know your thoughts on it and let me know your opinions. I will definitely say though, I 100% like it better than the Pro Matte. That foundation was terrible, as you guys know. I'll leave that linked up here so that way you guys can check it out, just in case you guys haven't seen that review. Let me know how you guys like this video and please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.